Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're keeping it super casual. My hair is wet because I just got out of the shower. My background is a disaster because I wanted to quickly film this because I've literally been running around all day because I'm still at the beach. As you can see, this background is not normal, and if you've been watching some of my vlogs, you can like recognize this background because I've like filmed in this room a little bit. But for today's video, I just wanted to do a college Q&A. So I asked you guys to ask me some questions on my Instagram. If you're not following me on there already, you definitely should, because I post a lot of stuff about YouTube on there. Whether it's like polls of like what I should post or like what you guys want to see. So you definitely should follow my Instagram. It's always linked in the description. Okay, so if you are new here, hi, I'm Megan. I am a senior at the University of South Carolina. So I'm going to pull from the questions that you guys asked me. I'm just going through the questions that you guys sent me over on my Instagram, like I said. The first question is best off-campus apartments. So I'm actually planning on making an entire like guide to off-campus housing. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure to leave a comment down below and I'll make that for you guys. But I would say like the top ones that my friends live at is like the Retreat, the Mills, the Cottages, which are gonna be brand new, and the Cottages are like right next to the Mill, so it's like under the same company. The Orchard, Rain is new, that's where I'm living. 650 Lincoln's pretty popular. Empire's pretty popular. What else? The Station. Those are like the ones I can think of like right now off of the top of my head. So that gives you a couple of like popular options, but I'm gonna be making an entire like guide to off-campus housing. So stay tuned for that video. It should be coming in the next few weeks. My favorite and least favorite thing about my college. So USC, my favorite thing, to think. There's so many good things about USC. My favorite thing is probably the campus because I really like how it's set up and I like how it's very scenic. So like whenever you're walking somewhere, you always have like a nice view of the buildings and like the campus, and the architecture is really nice and stuff like that. So I would say that the campus is my favorite, and the least favorite thing about my college is definitely how little parking there is and how difficult it is to find parking. If you go to USC, you know how difficult it is to find on-campus parking. So that is my least favorite thing about my college. What am I involved in? So, let's see. I used to be involved in a couple nursing clubs, but I switched my major to psych now. So I'm not in any of those clubs anymore. So I'm only involved in my sorority, which is Pi Beta Phi. If you didn't know, I am a Pi Phi at USC. So that is the only thing I am currently involved in. I was thinking about joining a criminal justice like fraternity, but I haven't really decided yet since it's my last year. I feel like it might be a little too late, but I'm not sure yet. One thing you would have done differently freshman year, probably study more, because I feel like I went out a lot and I didn't study as hard as I could have, but I also made decent grades. So I don't know, like I wish I would have joined a bunch of different clubs instead of just like major related clubs. So like my freshman year I was in like 2 nursing clubs, but then I did end up switching my major, so like I couldn't be in those clubs anymore. So I wish I would have done like a club not pertaining to my major, if that makes any sense. So maybe like getting more involved. Post-grad plans, that is a good one. So it really just kind of depends on how the whole pandemic progresses on for next year. So let's say that the pandemic, we have a vaccine, it's all calmed down, everything is like kind of back to normal. Then I will be looking for a job. So I'm graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. So I'll probably look for like a social work job or like some kind of job position in like a mental health facility or something like that. And then if the pandemic is still going on and we're still in like the current state that we are now, I think I'm going to just go ahead and do grad school, because the grad school that I want to do is online either way. So it really just depends with what state like the world is at next year. So stay tuned. But yeah, those are like the 2 plans that I have right now. With COVID and with all the stuff happening in the US, do you think grad school is worth it? I think it is, just because like this pandemic will eventually be contained, hopefully, and I feel like it's always such a good idea to further your education anyway, so that you're more like, how would you put it, so that you look better when applying to a job versus someone that doesn't have a higher level of education. And also I feel like you just gain more life experience that way too, like going for a higher education degree, because usually you'll be working and going to school at the same time, so you get more like of a life experience, I guess. So I do think it's worth it, especially if you're doing it online, so then you can go ahead and just get it out of the way, so then when this all is calmed down and we have a vaccine and stuff, then you're like good to go. Like you can just go ahead and go into the working world, hopefully. But I definitely do think it's worth it if you're considering grad school. I would just go ahead and do it. Thoughts on frat boys. So I have had my fair share of frat boy encounters, and it's like hit or miss. Some of them can be really nice, but then some of them can be really crappy. So I guess it just really depends on like who you're meeting and like what fraternity you're like encountering or like partnering with or whatever. Not all of them are bad. I'm friends with a couple, but I honestly, if I were you, I would just stay away. Like if you're looking for like something serious, just like not frat boy. Is college easier or harder than high school? Okay, so I think in some aspects it is easier, but also some aspects it is harder. So like I prefer college over high school any day, just because I have so much more freedom, because like I'm not in school for 8 hours consecutively a day, whereas you are in high school. Like college you have like 2 or 3 classes a day, whereas in high school you'll have like, well for me I had 4 classes every day because we had block scheduling, but I know a lot of other high schools have like 7 classes a day or something like that. So I think in the class aspect, like where you have in college, you have a lot more free time to like hang out with your friends, study, like do whatever you want, whereas in high school like a majority of your day is like stuck inside in classes. But college classes are definitely harder, but then some are also a little bit easier. It just really depends on your major, your professors, and like what you're studying, because I've had some classes where it's like easy A, but then I've had some classes where I've literally studied so hard, like I never have studied like that in my entire life. So it goes both ways. It's easier and harder, but if I had to pick college or high school, I would for sure pick college. I just feel like my college experience has been way better than my high school experience was. I struggled a lot through high school, and I mean I've had my fair share of struggles through college too, but I just genuinely feel like I'm a lot happier in college. So if you're struggling in high school, it gets better. College is a lot better. Any laptop recommendations? So I have the 2017 MacBook Pro and I have the 13-inch, and I cannot recommend the MacBook Pro enough. I have the one with a touch bar because I'm extra. I don't really know why. But I think they were like running a special back then, so I just went ahead and got a touch bar because I knew I was going to have this laptop for a while. And I love my laptop. I have not had any like major issues. And if I have had any major issues, Apple has been really good about taking care of it. So definitely get Apple Care if you are going to go the MacBook route, because it definitely pays off. Because sometimes your laptop just has like unexpected like technical issues. And then if you have Apple Care, which I think Apple Care lasts like 3 years, I think 3 or 5 years, it really makes it worth it, because then you can just get your laptop fixed for free. Okay, sorry if the angle changed or anything. My battery just died, so I had to replace it. Biggest piece of advice for incoming freshmen at USC or in general? I would just say not to worry too much about anything. Like just live your life, focus on your classes and get good grades, but also have a social life, go out, join clubs, do anything that you're super interested in doing. Don't be afraid to switch your major 100 times. It might set you back a little bit, but do what makes you happy. Because I thought nursing was for me, and it ended up not being what I wanted to do. And I was really stressed out and scared to switch my major to something I was truly passionate about. But my sophomore year, I ended up changing my major to psychology, and now I'm like thriving through school. So don't be afraid to switch your major. I don't know how to explain it. Just like be young, be stupid, learn from your mistakes, be friends with everyone, always say hey, always be kind to everyone. You never know what someone else is going through. And I feel like the easiest way to make friends is just by talking to everyone. So do that. Join any clubs you want to join. Watch a sorority if that's what you're into. I would just say just have fun, but also don't let your grades slip because it does matter. The last question is, can you do a video on housing options with pictures if you can? I don't know if I can get pictures because I don't know if you're allowed to like just take pictures from the website. But if I do a housing video, which I think I'm going to because I feel like it would be really helpful, I will leave all the websites of each place like linked in the description. So yeah, I don't know. I hope this Q&A was somewhat helpful or like interesting to get a little insight into me and my experience in college and helped you guys out a little bit. Yeah, if you have any other college related questions, just leave them in the comments below and I'll respond because I respond to every comment. This is it for today's video. Sorry it's like super casual and I literally look like a mess. I'm like about to get sun poisoning, so I thought makeup was like not the move for me today. My skin's really peeling and dry, so it's good. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one.
You should have seen the way that you bloom. I think I saw your face in the moon. I promise I'll be with you.